Welcome back to Rumi Gold, where quiet mastery begins. What if clarity was louder than strategy? What if money was just a reflection, not a reward for your exhaustion, but a mirror of how deeply you trust yourself? What if real power could walk into a room and stillness would say more than ambition ever could? What if, right now, there's nothing you actually have to chase? And what would unfold if, today, you let life come to you, instead of forcing your way through? Today we explore manifesting wealth, not as a tactic, but as a truth. Not the frantic version you see online, not the never sleep, out-hustle the world fantasy, but the kind of wealth that rises up from how you move, how you breathe, who you are being when no one's checking your score. So, pause. Ask yourself this, quietly. Where in your life are you moving fast, but going nowhere? Where have you mistaken busyness for progress? Where are you saying yes out of fear, instead of waiting for alignment? There's a cost to the old pattern. It's what you feel when you wake up tired, even after 8 hours. It's the weight on your chest before your feet hit the ground. It's that flicker of anxiety when you check the phone, wondering if there's more you should have done, more you should be chasing, always more. Most men never leave that loop, they age into it. But here, you get to step out, let that breathe. Picture this, morning, before sunrise. The modern monk Mogul wakes, but he does not move in a panic. He sits, silence, one breath, then another. He feels his own pulse before checking the world's. No phone, no noise. He walks to the window, warm mug in hand, sunrise crawling across the floor. No urgency, just presence. He writes 3 lines in his journal, not to manifest, not to force intentions, but to remember who he already is. Then, and only then, does the work begin. Not as a race, but as a ritual. Each call, each move, chosen, anchored, enough. He doesn't chase the world. He lets it meet him at the pace of discipline and grace. You already feel it. There's something here. Stay with it. For decades, the story's been the same. Money and misery tied together, like 2 shoes on the same pair of feet. No matter how many steps you take, you start to believe you can't have one without the other. That's the script most of us inherited. Hustle as proof, sacrifice as virtue, wake before dawn, work through dinner, wear the scars like a badge around your neck, as if pain is a shortcut to belonging. You may remember hearing it from someone you trusted growing up, a parent, a teacher, a neighbor over the fence. Money doesn't grow on trees, or you've got to struggle for what you want. These aren't just words, they're seeds. Drop them into a young mind, and a forest of habits grows. Years pass, the story gets louder. You can be building a business, climbing a ladder, or picking up an extra shift, and underneath it all is this quiet voice saying, keep going, you haven't done enough. And even at the finish line, you find the same feeling of emptiness, almost like you never even ran. Let me give you a picture. A man I know, call him Mark, built a company from nothing. First in, last out. His family hardly saw him. He chased contracts and worn-out deadlines. He told himself, just one more win, then I'll lighten up. 5 years later, revenue was up, but Mark looked hollow. He'd made numbers, not a life. He told me, there's no quiet in me anymore. I wake up with my jaw tight. I fall asleep with a list in my head. Success by every old story, but nothing left for his soul. It's everywhere. We confuse motion with creation. We think being busy is the same as living with purpose. That's the trap. Think about a craftsman and his chisel. If he never sharpens his tools, if he's only swinging faster, will the work really get better? Martial artists know. It's not the speed of your punch, but the calm inside the breath. The world says go faster. What if the richest part of your day is the one nobody else sees? What if wealth isn't made in the hours you rechasing, but in the first 5 minutes before you move? What if true power is simply how you greet the day, before the world can touch you? What if all your striving comes second to this waking presence? Most people wake up and step straight into a storm. The phone glows, the mind rushes. Old stories kick up dust before they've even opened their eyes fully. They start their day at someone else's frequency, the world's agenda. Compare, hurry, react. It's not living, it's drifting. But here's the turn. The first moments after waking are the foundation, the blueprint, wet cement, still soft. Whatever you carve in here, it holds for hours. Science says you're in this in-between state, theta, alpha. The gates of your mind are open. You can lay down fear, or you can lay down calm. You can confirm your scarcity, or you can confirm your sufficiency. Let that land. Picture to people. One grabs the phone, racing to patch holes in their life before breakfast. Their nervous system never really lands. Decisions rushed, hands jittery, always catching up, never arriving. The other just sits. No screens, no caffeine. 5 minutes, no more. They breathe, they anchor, they say, quietly, almost under their breath, I am quietly wealthy, I am stable, and I am enough today. Everything finds me in its right time. Just that. Repeat it while you breathe. Eyes on the ceiling, feet still beneath blankets. Let these words float into your system, the way sunlight slides through a window. No force, just being. That's the discipline. Try it tomorrow morning before anything else. Sit in stillness 5 minutes. Breathe in, and on your exhale, say, I am quietly wealthy. I am quietly grounded. Let your system hear it before the world arrives. You already know this. Think about this. What if wealth wasn't a finish line, but a fingerprint? What if the evidence of abundance wasn't found in your account, but in the signals you quietly install into your ordinary days? What if every object, every choice, every thread touching your skin was a silent guide, nudging you back to who you keep becoming? Most of us grow up staring at numbers, chasing approval or accumulation, as if money was the only mirror. It's loud, it's noisy, it wears you down. So here's the shift. A wealthy man is never reaching, he's remembering. He moves differently, because the cues around him keep pulling him back to what matters. There's a ritual in that. Identity isn't declared, it's built into the background hum of your life. Quiet, steady, experienced across thousands of small triggers that keep reminding your body and mind. You, Dan T, need to strive. You just return home. Look at your hands. Do you grip the pen like you're scrambling to prove something? Or do you write as the person who already owns his day? The future, you doesy, wear anything different. Maybe a certain shirt, a watch. Not showy, not costume, just an anchor. One cue, laid out deliberately at night, ready before the morning noise even begins. It's not about fashion, it's about remembering. Walk through your space. Is there clutter? That's a cue. Is there order, clarity, care in the way you stack your papers, the way you close your laptop, the way you make your bed? Your environment trains your choices. much more than willpower ever could. That's the discipline. Try this. Carry one object, today's smooth stone, in your pocket, an engraved coin, nothing magical. But every time your hand finds it, let it say one thing. I live with enough. You already know this. Repetition wires the nervous system. These aren't tricks. They are anchors. You are training your body to be fluent in abundance, not scarcity. That's the quiet upgrade. Each cue is a ripple. Each ripple changes how deeply you trust the next quiet decision. Tonight, pick one signal, lay it out clear, walk with it tomorrow. Stay honest. Are you chasing, or are you returning to something never lost? Let's sit with that. Most people count money like it's just a score, plus or minus. That's the normal way. But if you slow down, sit with your experience, you start to see every dollar as something else. Not just math, not just digital numbers. Every exchange is energy. So here's the thought. The modern monk Mogul, he notices flow, the feeling under the surface. Every time money moves, it's a mirror. Every transaction is a moment to check. Does this help me stay true, or does it pull me out of line? It's not just a question about budgets. It's an inner check-in. When you pay your electricity bill, instead of groaning, instead of the usual tightness, you whisper, "Thank you for the light, for the warmth, for running water." You let that land, even for a second. Just a quiet nod to how everything costs energy, but also gives it. When money hits your account, what do? Most swipe, most barely notice, on to the next. Try this, instead breathe. Stop everything for the smallest pause. Feel what arrived. Close your eyes. Imagine multiplying it, not in numbers, but in quiet appreciation, even if it's small. You're not worshiping the money, just honoring what passed through your hands, even for a moment. It doesn't have to be dramatic to be true. And then, look wider. Don't just track money. Track the soft currencies. The times you share a favor. The ride you give a friend. The tip, the smile, the favor exchanged over a quiet call. These are energetic deposits, too. Everything you circulate comes back, sometimes in forms you can't count, but you feel it. The ledger is bigger than you think, psychology says. Focus expands what you experience. The more attention you put on what feels whole, the more of it shows up. When you honor what's abundant, that's what grows. That's real. And in the old spiritual texts, to those who have, more is given. You already know this. It's the discipline, so try this. Each day, write down one exchange that felt abundant. Doesn't matter if it's money, a thank you, or just a moment you felt the flow pass through. Note it in a journal. Let the list grow slow. You'll start to see prosperity has patterns. The more you track, the clearer it gets. The more you witness, the more fluent you become in the currency of energy. Let's sit with that. Every morning, before anything moves, the instrument sits silent, strings loose, sound hiding beneath the surface. The player arrives and, quietly, begins to tune. No audience, no rush, just a hand, moving peg by peg. One string, then another. You feel it when the pitch aligns. Something settles. Only a moment ago, it was discord, unfocused, almost lost. Then, with calm pressure, each note finds resonance. This is what ritual is, daily, small, never dramatic, but absolutely everything. Wealth is no different. You already know this. You begin with the morning anchor, tuning the body to quiet presence. before the world's noise begins. Just like tuning a string. Breath, posture, silence. Then you set your identity cues. The way your hands move, the clothes you wear, a note you leave for yourself. These aren't just details, they're the signals, tuning forks that shape reality. Finally, you treat every exchange, every dollar, every lift of your energy, like you're placing your hands on something sacred. No transaction is too small. Each is a note. Play it clear, it echoes. You don't need to force momentum. You need to align, the way an instrument does every morning. That's the discipline. Now, some simple vows. I start my day with silence. I start my day with silence. I respect every exchange. I respect every exchange. I step into my wealth identity. I step into my wealth identity. My presence calls